Welcome to the Uncommon Transformation television series.
Electricity, power, or energy is, to say the least, central to the development of any nation or state. It is therefore not surprising that nations sink colossal part of their earnings in the provision of this vital commodity for the socio-economic growth and well-being of their people. It is a fact that the absence of the commodity or inadequate supply of it in Nigeria over the years has severely stifled her growth in virtually every sphere of human endeavor. Happily though, this is being addressed especially in Akwa Ibom State, where His Excellency Governor Godswill Akpabio has demonstrated an unusual understanding of what is needed to be done to reverse this trend in the state. His strategy has been to invest in 5 key and strategic areas fundamental to the sector, namely fuel and gas supply, generation, transmission, distribution, and capacity building. The Akwa Ibom State government, under the watch of Governor Akpabio, has invested more than $40 million in security of fuel source needed for generation of power, which is the first component of steady power supply. This was to forge a strategic synergy between the state government and the private sector to develop gas processing plant and gas pipeline for the supply of processed natural gas to end users, of which Ibom Power Plant is one.
We partnered with a company called Scepter Energy to bring in the first private sector public partnership in the gas sector, and we built a brand new gas processing plant so we can turn the gas reservoir of Akwa Ibom shoreline into domestic gas. That is located in a local government called Esreket. Then we did pipeline 69 kilometers from Esreket to Ikorobasi, hoping that that can supply the IPP in addition to Aluminium Smelter Company. Because one of the problems Nigeria will face soon will not be the completion of turbines, it will be the availability of gas to turn those turbines. So we turn ahead. I had to partner with them for future supply of gas, and I said government will stay as a middleman and buy the entirety of gas from them for 10 days and now supply to end users.
That vision has materialized on 14th August 2014 as Mr. President was in the state recently to commission the Okwo gas plant at Esreket. Little wonder thousands of grateful Akwa Ibom people turned out en masse to witness this historic day and event. The significance of that day was not lost on them, as steady supply of electricity is in the horizon.
On behalf of the federal government, I'm pleased to formally commission this gas plant, which has been described as the biggest in the sub-Saharan Africa. So it's a pleasure for all of us here. We are completed by new success story. We are commissioning this gas plant for use to the glory of God.
Mr. President said he was delighted about the private sector participation in the gas sector of the economy.
Who has followed the development in this state for a very long time. And of course, what Governor Akpabio has been doing over this period, even the blind can see. But what thrilled me today even more is the private sector involvement in this trip. I did the groundbreaking for the methanol petrochemical that is coming up at Ibeno by Quantum Petrochemical Complex, and also at the Eco Gas Processing Facility at East Leket Local Government that Seven Energy and Frontier Oil Limited, which Akos Gas, the subsidiary, are building. This private sector involvement is key because it has to touch on our economy. First and foremost, both factories has to use gas. And Nigeria is known to have more gas than even crude oil.
An obviously elated Governor Akpabio told Mr. President that his administration's efforts in the power sector were geared towards complementing his transformation agenda to provide the necessary infrastructure and create an enabling environment for Nigeria's leapfrog to a better tomorrow.
That gas plant is serving the power company, and we are producing about 110 megawatts. We are at the verge of privatizing it to ensure about 685 megawatts of electricity for our people. So, in terms of electricity, it has improved tremendously. We have sometimes about 18 hours of light in a day, and I think this is something the President would like to hear.
Many stakeholders in the power sector are of the opinion going the way of gas is where Nigeria's future lies in terms of steady power generation and supply.
The industrialization of our gas in this country, of which we have over 187 trillion cubic feet, with projects such as the quantum petrochemical and methanol plant, we will ensure that finally we begin to get the oil and gas sector to touch the real economy and impact on the lives of the entire quality of our country.
The Akwa Ibom State people are very lucky people to have someone in the person of Akpabio. And I'm not a politician, so let me not say too many things that, politicians would normally want to say. So forgive me if I had said things that may look like as if I'm beginning to imitate some politicians. I'm a professional, I'm a technocrat. We say the facts and speak the data and the numbers the way they are. The numbers coming from Akwa Ibom definitely, arguably, are some of the best data we can compare in any environment.
With Nigeria's power supply oscillating between 3,000 to 4,000 megawatts at the moment, it will be recalled that in 2010, President Jonathan, on a working visit to the state, visited Ibom Power Plant to see things for himself.
Mr. President, I thank you on behalf of my people. I now want to formally invite you to take a stroll over there and switch on the generating plant and give light to Akwa Ibom and Nigeria. In Jesus' name.
I come here today to formally switch on the Ibom Power Plant. It is in this light that we must commend the vision and courage with which the Akwa Ibom state government has embarked upon and successfully executed this independent power plant project, that is phase 1. This must be an inspiring challenge to other state governments. What Akwa Ibom State has achieved today can be replicated in a number of states across the country. It is now my singular privilege to proceed across there to formally switch on the Ibom Power Plant to the glory of God and the enduring benefits of the people of Akwa Ibom State and indeed Nigerians. I thank you all.
In the area of power generation, the Akpabio-led administration is partnering with Niger Delta Integrated Power Project (NIPP). In this direction, the state government has invested significant amount, over 120 million US dollars, to build the Ibom Power Plant with installed capacity of 191 megawatts of electricity, more than twice what is needed in Akwa Ibom State. So what will become of the excess not needed in the state? Former Commissioner for Rural Development, Sir Adazio Bolom, gives insight.
The essence of why the government is actually out to bring power to the rural areas is to make the people of Akwa Ibom State that wherever you are, you can make a living out of that community. Because if you have light in the community, every artisan in the rural communities will be able to concentrate, to focus on whatever he can do to bring about a living.
Transmission is another important aspect in the chain of power supply. According to Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Power, Dr. Victor Odo, the Akwa Ibom State government, being a responsible government, has not only partnered NIPP in the areas of funding, but is working hand in hand with the federal government to build new transmission stations, as well as reconduct the Itu-Uyo 132 kV transmission line to remove any potential power evacuating constraints.
His Excellency is very excited about industrializing the whole state. And power transmission is a very important aspect of that. Now, one of the things that we've pushed for as a state is that we don't just want this place to be an evacuating point. We want to make sure there is a local content, not only in the labor, but also in the transformation of the power so that there is enough level of voltage for people to use locally and in the state.
One major achievement of the Akpabio-led administration is siting of the 330 kV switching stations at Ikodekmene and Ikodabasi. With both at various stages of completion, there is every hope that power will be in abundance in the shortest possible time. It is interesting to know that all that is needed to complete the stations are on ground. There are buildings on site to house the control units as well as staff quarters. This will guarantee a seamless transmission of power to end users, as this will guarantee 24 hours monitoring. What kind of effect will this have on power supply in the state on completion?
Siting a power station in a particular place, the state have to benefit, the people within the locality have to benefit. There's going to be a lot of influx of industries. This is a station where other people are waiting for the completion. Like the factory in Ascon, Eworapasi, they are looking onto this. So it's a very big station and it's the nerve center.
The consultants to the project revealed that aside the huge financial commitment by Akwa Ibom State government, it has also made significant contributions in other areas, ensuring the project remains on course.
We are working very hard. So by hopefully you can see all these towers, all these equipments for the lines, the procurement has been completed. 100% materials on ground. You can see all these material and tower parts. So hopefully by the end of this year, by December, we are expected to complete this line.
And ultimately, when there's enough power in the state and in the country, we will see industrialization and we're going to see our states and country moving away from civil society or civil service to industrial kind of economy, which is...
It is a well-known fact that on assumption of office, Governor Akpabio promised his people that their lives will never remain the same. One of the ways to ensure he fulfilled this promise was to make sure electricity was available in all nooks and crannies of Akwa Ibom State. He set about this task through the Interministerial Direct Labour Committee
and Ministry of Rural Development,
which has achieved amazing success in this direction. The governor says his ambition is to achieve 100% connectivity of all villages in the state to the national grid before the expiration of his tenure in 2015. The major plank for this ambition is his policy of industrialization that will bring empowerment to the doorsteps of his people.
We want to ensure that by the year 2014 latest, the entire state is lit, is connected to the national grid. And I think that will be one of the very few states in the Federation to achieve that. As I speak now, we are about 85% in terms of that. So from electricity point of view, we are prepared for regional integration. Communities that had never seen light today now have light. That's why I said we have linked up over 1,500 brand new communities to the national grid. And we are still importing more transformers because we are determined to have 100% coverage in electricity alone. That's one side of it. The world still regards Africa as a dark continent. And why are we a dark continent? Because if you go to space and you look at Africa, Africa is dark. Why are we dark? Because there are no street lights. Because Africa, as I speak now, the electricity coverage in Africa is less than 10%. And then in Nigeria, it's less than 20%. It's about 19%. It's only in Akwa Ibom that electricity coverage has gone up to 85% with my administration. And I want to achieve 100%. So let us have a small model in Africa. Let's have a small resort in Africa that can rank with the developed world. People develop those places.
This may seem a very tall and unachievable ambition to those who do not believe in the promise-keeping ability of Governor Akpabio. But the former Commissioner for Rural Development says the state is well on its way to achieve this ambition, as he gives insight into where the state was in the provision of power in the rural communities before this administration, where it is at the moment, and where it is headed.
The essence of providing power in the rural areas is based on His Excellency's vision to industrialize the state, and what can drive it is adequate power supply. In Akwa Ibom State, we have about 2,595 gazetted villages. This is outside ungazetted villages, and it is on record that before the advent of this administration, it was only about 500 communities that were beneficiaries of electricity. But now, on record, we have been able to have about 2,190 communities that have electricity.
That the future looks bright for power supply is supported by the fact that the state has also invested heavily in the distribution aspect of power, as verifiable from the Abak substation, which is one of the many substations built at strategic locations all over the state.
This is a great innovation. You will see that this is one of the type of its kind, and we are having about 6 in Akwa Ibom. One in Abak, one in Ibezipo, one in Tinan, Ona, Ikorokan, and Ikorobase. No matter what you transmit, generate, if you don't have a good distribution network, then the thing cannot. The ultimate is that you should have a good distribution network where this power will go to individual houses.
The state's huge investment in the power sector has indeed paid off, as residents in most of the villages confirm there is tremendous improvement in power supply.
Since far back, no lights, no steady light, but now, steady light there now. That is good for my work. Everywhere. This is my second workshop, another one there for next month later. 2 sides I get gen, but it's up to 1 month. I never start gen because light there always.
If you look at welding job generally, it's a job that requires electricity. No doubt, it is a job that requires electricity. And it looked as if welding work is a little bit difficult because if you don't have light, you don't have a generator to set it up, it will be a tough thing to you. But to be very sincere with you, this is about a year plus since I set up this shop. And I have my generating set. But I can't remember the day I started that generator in the name of starting a generator to weld something. It has been light day in, day out. Standby, no touch, no blinging.
Government has tried for us for so many times. We have light and we dey well something, and we dey enjoy. Nothing like say light no dey. Light dey permanent for our side. So now we dey enjoy the light. Now we say, may government, thank you so much for the thing wey they done for us.
Almost a year, the electricity is very, very stabilized. It's very good. It has improved. It's really helping us. A lot of times we don't burn generator. It's helped me save the money for fuel to repair the generator. It's really helped.
Just like I said earlier, before we used to use this generator. Before the weeks runs out, you can buy fuel. So for now, it has been long. We've not started this generator. We use NEPA lights.
This is fan. It give light always. They use the light and iron the clothes and use work. Say this our work because of light and no work. But now light steady, so enjoy the light very well.
It has helped so much. It talks about transformation. It has brought light here. It has brought a lot of business and so forth. So we thank you so much. As you can see, we are busy, and welding work is moving here, and we display our talent.
I want to say that government have tried so much in terms of lights. They've done so much.
I thank the government for giving us steady supply of electricity for us to do our businesses. It is my wish that they improve on this good work.
It is only an ingrate who fail to appreciate what the executive governor is doing. When we talk of electricity, it is nothing to say but to compare as at the past. And whereas before we could have not been having a steady, constant light. But sincerely speaking, today the case is a different. The light is very constant. He has been helping me to move my business very successfully. He has been protecting my business even when we are closing.
Attitude. These sawyers say they can't believe their good fortune that they can have 24 hours electricity to power their business.
I am glad for the steady supply of power. Before now, we buy diesel 30 to 40,000 naira daily, and it is not even enough for us to do our work. Without electricity, our businesses will not progress. So we are very grateful to government.
We have constant electricity supply. Only when we have a problem is when there is a problem on the line. We have full current because of the transmission power station in Ikoronja. Understand? Okay, we don't have any problem. It had helped me to do my business successfully.
Says God bless you. Amen. For this is when the people of this place has ever experienced a light in a glass. There has never been a light in a glass. But because of your good work, this community has experienced light today.
The supply of electricity in this Ibionibom is going high because it helped me to do my business very well.
Jim of Akpabio, I said that I congratulated him because he's a promise keeper. Whatever promised from the first tenure to this second one, he fulfilled it.
But men can get from Okoita to see Koromama.
From Okoita to Use Korimama, all the villages have electricity. All the transformers they promised us, they have delivered. We are very happy. Let everybody join hands together.
Without electricity supply, I may not have been able to do the little welding that I've done. Here in the Akwa Ibom State, His Excellency Governor Godswill Akpabio has invested huge amounts of money into power supply, thereby empowering his people cutting across the state. The people say they are very grateful and they will want this giant stride to be sustained because it has saved them a lot of cost. Kudos to the state government, the people say. Power to the people.
From Ibiono to Abak,
Eket to Oron,
the story is the same. The provision of power in the rural areas is in tandem with the industrialization policy of Governor Akpabio. This will also serve as panacea for rural-urban migration. Eket is currently enjoying the full benefits of power generation and transmission from the Ibom power plant at Ikorabasi. Work on the transmission lines from Eke to Uyo has made significant progress. Once completed, Uyo will enjoy a better coverage than is currently available. From the foregoing, therefore, there is enough evidence to demonstrate that with the determination His Excellency Governor Godswill Akpabio is putting, if same model and zeal is adopted nationwide, there is every hope that sooner than later, 24 hours supply of electricity is realizable, not only in Akwa Ibom State, but Nigeria as a whole.
Uncommon Transformation television series brings to you the latest information of the monumental achievements of the Governor Akpabio-led administration. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube to read the latest news, watch amazing videos and listen to in-depth analyses and interviews with the men and women working hand in hand with stakeholders to make Akwa Ibom State better. You can also log on to our website www.uncommontransformation.tv for more information. Uncommon Transformation television series, bringing to you the right and current information when you need it.